Welcome to Coffee Break with Candace. We're so glad you're here today, and I have another incredible guest that I'm going to have introduce herself and tell us more.
I'm Kim Rua, and I'm the owner of Mesh Organic Salon. And Mesh Organic Salon's been in existence since 2004,
Oh,
started in
wow.
Seattle. I've been doing hair for like 36, 37 years, so forever and a day. And the organic came about kind of from self preservation in a way. I read somewhere, and I don't even know if it's true, but I read that hairdressers' um, lungs were second to coal miners.
Ooh, wow.
And part of that is extracurricular activity for sure. I'm a former smoker, so there's that and all the fun things you do in your 20s and all that stuff. But um, that kind of freaked me out. So I'm like, what can I do to kind of offset this? Because I knew from a very small age I wanted to do hair. Very young, I knew. I don't know how I knew. I don't know how I got exposed to it even, but I knew. So, so when that happened, when I read that, and it's been at least 20 years, if not more, since that time, um, it's like I want to do this for a really long time, and I love what I do, and this is my career, and but I want to be as safe as one can be. So I started looking into stuff, and I first ended up with organic retail because organic started there. And it's hard for me to remember when I started it, but I've probably been doing organic retail. It started with Aveda, which isn't organic, but it's better than a lot of other things out there. And I got retail and did that probably for 20 years. I've probably done retail, the organic retail, different lines. And then somewhere along the line, probably 15 years ago, maybe more, I found organic color, and I've been using that ever since then. Now I'm onto a second one, um, and I love it. And people always ask, can it do the same thing? And yes, it's color. I can still damage your hair. It does all those things. And there's a misconception that because it's organic, it's chemical free. And that's not true. I have to have chemicals to do what I do. There's no way around it. But my products contain none of a lot of the harsh chemicals or less or different versions of. So the particular color line I use, my retail comes out of Italy. My color comes out of Australia.
Wow.
And I have a smoothing treatment that comes out of Israel. So like virtually nothing is here. um, my distributor's in Florida, but the color line is just it's just really amazing. And I did organic in Seattle, but moving here, I've been here 9 years. It'll be almost 9 years. And COVID's decimated my business because here, unlike my clientele in Seattle, I have a lot of clients that are sick and they still want to color their hair and they still want good shampoo and conditioner. And so I have clients that I have not seen and that are starting to come in now. They literally have not had their hair done for over a year
Oh,
because they were
wow.
afraid. And
Uh-huh.
so um, it's kind of the first time organics a little bit bit me in the butt because of the clientele. And I adore my clientele. I'm so happy to help people I have so many women that have thyroid issues and Hashimoto's and all the autoimmune diseases. It's crazy how many people have those. Um, and I do a patch test with this color if people have had issues where I literally put it on the back of their ear and they walk out of here and we see what happens. And fortunately, I've only had two people react so far, and I don't know out of how many, but out of a 9 year clientele, that's pretty good.
That's
So
amazing, actually.
yeah, it's really makes me happy. Um, and I'm in a salon suite, meaning I have my own little room. So to a degree, there's less smells in my room. Now, there are people in this building that do nails. There are people in here that do Brazilian blowout and all that stuff. So there is some, like if somebody has olfactory problems, they probably just need somebody to come to their home. Because there is that nail smell occasionally in here, but as far as COVID, it's just you and me. I'm in a private room. We're all still wearing masks. So it's as safe as you can get while getting out of your home to get your hair done. So I'm thankful that I was in a salon suite when all that hit, because that did help. And we didn't have to, we closed down, but we didn't have to do when it opened back up, I could work full time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the traditional salons, they were juggling because you could only have so many people. So super fortunate about that. Love this place. I'm in South Park Meadows. Love the owner here. He's fabulous. Um, and we get to paint our little rooms ourselves and put up our own stuff. He provides like the chairs and the cabinets, but it's the color's mine, the picture's mine, and that's fun. So it's kind of your
It's
own
nice.
space. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
makes
have a
it feel
key.
like
I can work
yours.
whenever I want. And so yeah, I'm really fortunate with that. And I'm super close to my house, which is why I moved here December 1st, and because of moving to Buda a year ago. So it's super close to my house, and I love that. And
Mm.
so I'm 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 seeing a light at the end of the tunnel now. Clients coming in.
Sure.
Um, so that's kind of my story. Moving here has been, I will never build a clientele again. It's been very challenging. And I do networking. I know about networking. I've known about networking for 15 years. And something I never considered is the water here is different.
Mm.
The sun here is much more aggressive. So I've had to learn some things that I never thought I'd have to learn, because I always did hair in Seattle till moving here. So
That's
um,
so interesting, though.
I
So yeah, I
never
would
would
have
have
thought
thought of
about
that.
that, but I'm not a specialist the way you are, so I wouldn't have thought about that. But what things what changes have you made because of those environmental differences?
Um, I I guess I kind of look at the hair a little more. It's not that I didn't before, but I am a huge advocate for home water purifiers, but not everybody can do that.
Sure.
So at the very least, get a shower head that has a filter, especially if you color your hair, because this water will take your color out and give you an orange cast in a heartbeat. I
Oh.
happen to love orange, if you can see my hair, but not everybody does. So,
Love
um,
it.
you know, those blondes can get really brassy really quick with this water. So, seriously, you can go to Home Depot for about $100 and put the shower head on. And I literally put it on myself, and I am not a handyman in any way. So that's one thing you can do. If you can possibly, when you go swimming, if you're going to get your hair in the water, get it wet and put conditioner in it first if you're not going to wear a cap. Um, you can do vinegar rinses once a month that help because anything you digest also goes on your hair. So if you take a lot of medication or a lot of vitamins, you can do a vinegar rinse and that will help clear it. You can do that before you come in to see me for color. That will help a little bit. Um, but the water purifier is the big thing here. And if you can wear a hat out in the sun, that's great, but not all of us are going to do that, you know? So, and products, using really proper products. So,
So how much, I have a couple questions actually. So how
sure.
much research did you have to do to find those specific products that you're using, especially since they come from all parts of the world?
Um, well, first of all, most everything comes from a distributor out of Florida, and I trust them so much.
Okay.
So I kind of let them do my research. Um, the One of the reasons that I like that there's only one is I hate diversion. It's frustrating that I spend time and money to learn about something and then they can go buy it at Walmart. Sometimes for less than what I can sell it for. That's happened to me before. I've pulled lines that I've loved because they were in the local grocery store, and that's a distributor issue, not valuing me, and I have a real problem with that. Um, it's not to say that you won't find any of my products ever on Amazon,
Sure.
but it's pretty rare. So I love that there's one distributor. They only do organic stuff. That's their niche. Um, and the relationship that I have with the woman that I order from is really good, and she's really honest with me, and um, she's the one I always talk to. If I've had a problem with color, I can call their guy and say, look, this is, this person has this, or if I'm doing a dramatic color change, I can reach out to them
Mm.
and get information, send them pictures, and they've not steered me wrong once on those massive color changes. Um, but so I do the research. I read about it. Um, I look at pictures of it. And I'm also on some Facebook pages that have information too, which, that can be dicey, but, um, and really it's me getting my hands in it and trying it for a while. That's the true, um, about a year after I moved here, the color line that I was using, I wasn't going to be able to get it, and I lost it.
Mm.
I've changed color lines many times, but because my clientele was new to me, it freaked me out. And I ended up with this color line, which actually is a better color line.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
but I don't mind changing if I already know my clientele. But once I find something I like, I kind of don't want to change. Um, so I've probably been using that color line for about 5 years. So, but the research really is reading, looking at stuff, talking to people, talking to the distributor, talking to the educational coordinator of the color line.
Mm.
Um,
That's a
and
lot of, it sounds like a lot of work so
oh,
that when you settle on or make a decision about a product, that there's been a lot that's gone into that decision.
yeah, and I take classes, um, and it doesn't matter how long you've learned use something. You take a class and you're like, "What? I didn't know that."
Yeah.
So, um, so that's good, and of course they're all online classes because they're out of Florida, so they don't. At this point, they don't do any classes in Austin. I wish they would. That'd be awesome. But other questions?
Yes, actually, that I do, because I think it's interesting that did you imagine that your change to using only organic products would result in a clientele that had underlying health issues?
Well, I think part of that was when I changed to organic in Seattle, I had an established clientele. And some of them were like, oh, that's cool. And others are like, I don't care as long as it works.
Mm,
Whereas coming here using organic, I think that's why I've attracted that clientele.
interesting.
So that's a new thing for me here too. It's not that I didn't have clients in Seattle that had issues, but way more percentage here for sure. So,
And how did they find out about you? That's also interesting as well.
well, I am in a networking group, and that helps greatly. Like I say, I've been in it 15 years. That's how I know Fred
Mm-hmm.
that introduced us. Um, but really, because I've been a hairdresser for so long and I have somebody that helps me with my website, I come up still at the top a lot. So
Oh,
when people
awesome.
punch in organic Austin, I'm way high up. In fact, there was a girl that uses the same color line as me at the last place I worked, and I bet she's not even 30. And she said, how do you come up so much? And I'm like, part of it's just time. I'm ancient. I've been around a long time. So my stuff's out there. Um,
It is, but it also sounds like you've made some really smart business decisions, marketing decisions. Like
yes.
there's more, it didn't just happen. Yeah,
No.
you have that experience, but you've thought a lot about, your business and how to make sure people know who you are. And I love that because, that's a big, I think that's a lesson for anyone in business. If people don't know about you, it doesn't matter how great your work is.
Exactly.
So the fact that
Exactly.
you've done the work and that you could come to a new place, completely across the country and, develop a clientele the way you have. I mean, it really is quite amazing what you've done.
I mean, thank you. I mean, it doesn't, I just do what I do. You know what I mean? And I think something that I've done really hard here that I didn't do as much in Seattle because I had a clientele, uh, is ask for reviews. You have to
Mm,
ask for them or people won't do them. And as much as those reviews and some of those review sites can be really skewed, like people look at those. They really do. And so I think
they
it's really
do.
important. Like if you're happy with what I do, tell people, you know?
Hello, welcome. Mesh Organic Salon has been in business since 2004, and I have been doing hair since 1985. I guess the favorite thing for me is when I do somebody's hair and they just smile ear to ear because they love what I've done. We've maybe had a good chat in the time that they're here. They get to come in and relax and leave their worries at the door. Hello, I'm Kim. Welcome to the Mesh Organic Salon. Let me wash the toxins right out of your hair.
Hi guys, it's Aisha with Crave Counseling, and I'm coming back to you guys with another mental health segment for Coffee Break with Candace. So I want to first again thank you guys for taking the time out to continue watching these videos, and I hope that you are able to gain important information or meaningful information that you can take and utilize within your day. So today I want to talk with you guys about your reaction or your response to anger. So I want to first start by saying that anger is a natural emotion. If you do not experience anger, I am concerned because there's anger that you experience over time and you get that emotion out. But then there is bottled up anger that could later turn into rage. So I will say, if you become angry, it is okay to experience that emotion. So following me validating that feeling, I want you guys to understand that there are steps that you can take whenever you become angry to prevent your feelings of anger from being invalidated. So the first thing is to, one, ask yourself, following a situation or an experience or something that causes you to become angry, the first thing you can ask yourself is, are my feelings valid? And in doing that, you may have to evaluate the situation. What about this situation made me angry? Could there have been other ways in which the situation could have gone? And what am I seeking following my reaction to the situation? Do I want an apology? Do I want that person to acknowledge how I feel? What is it that you want? From those sets of questions, the next thing is, okay, we validated our feeling of anger, right? I'm angry. My feelings are valid. Me being upset is fair. Following how you validate that emotion of anger will determine if the outside invalidates your feelings or not. And when I say the outside, that means the other people within the situation. So the first thing is to take time to actually check yourself in those situations. And when I say check yourself, I don't mean don't be angry. What I mean is take time to actually sit with yourself and say, okay, since I'm angry, my feelings are valid. Can my reaction to this emotion invalidate how I actually feel? And so I'll give you two examples of what I mean by that. So the first thing is, let's say I become angry because my spouse made me mad, right? Let's just say my spouse made me upset. And when he came in, we begin arguing, and I throw clothes across the room. I throw the joystick. I throw the TV. I start to throw things around the house. And so me being angry is okay. He validated my feelings of being angry. But then I began to throw things across the room. So the first thing that just happened is you have now invalidated the way you feel. So the first thing that people say when you become upset is, you know what, I can understand why you're upset. Or they say, I don't care why you're mad. And the reason you usually get the I don't care why you're mad is your reaction to that anger. So that's the first scenario. The second scenario is very similar, right? I become angry because something my spouse did or didn't do, whatever the situation is. And I come home and I say, you know what? I am not in a healthy space right now. So if you can give me some time to calm myself down, I would like to talk about it in a moment. But right now, I'm just not in a space where I can have that conversation with you. And so in that situation, you may just very well express that I'm angry, I'm upset, I am frustrated, but I need a break. And when that happens, that is now a time in which, one, your feelings are valid, and two, someone can respect the fact that you are upset. And so, again, when it comes to anger, it is a natural emotion. You are to experience that at some point in your life. And if you don't, again, I am concerned because bottled up anger can later turn into rage. The next part is validating your feelings. You can tell yourself it's okay to be mad. Validate your own feelings. Sometimes you don't have to get that validation outside of yourself. Once you validate that feeling, then it is up to you to highlight if your reaction or your response to anger will invalidate you. And so I gave you the example of me communicating with my spouse in a situation in which I was upset. And so again, first scenario, I began to throw things. And at that point, I am no longer valid in how I experience anger. I'm not saying you being upset is not valid, but what I'm saying is your response or your reaction to anger has now just invalidated you. On the other side, when I came in and I expressed like, hey, I am upset. I am not in a space where I can communicate that with you, but I do want you to know that I'm upset. Then at that point, my spouse said, you know what? I'm going to give you the space. I'm going to validate how you feel. It's okay for you to be upset. And I will give you that space that you need in order for you to later come back and us have a healthy conversation around why you are upset. And so when you guys do have that conversation, again, you go down that same cycle. Okay, my feelings are valid. I want to explain to you why I'm upset. Expressing why I am upset, what could have been done, what could have changed, and this is what I want following the situation. And you guys have to compromise, or they don't have to compromise, and you can just be upset and experience your anger how you want to. But the anticipation is that once you do it, once you express your anger in a healthy way, a lot of times someone is willing to be compromising in most situations where they might apologize, which might be the thing that you want. Or they might say, you know what, how can I make your day better? In those situations, that anger can go away, or that person can help you work through those situations in which you may be upset. So I hope that this is something that you guys can take with you. We always view anger in a negative way, when in actuality, anger should be experienced and expressed, but it's just a matter of how you express that emotion in which it validates or invalidates you. So again, thank you guys for joining me on Coffee Break with Candace.
Hello guys, this is my friend, my grandma Gina, and she's gonna make some shrimp.
And why am I making shrimp? Because who loves shrimp?
Me and my grandma Gina. And who doesn't like shrimp? Who doesn't like shrimp?
So all I did was marinated the shrimp
You did, why didn't I use that
and garlic and fresh lemon juice. Oh, you want to do it? Okay, you gotta hold it right at the shrimp.
Well, you can say the stuff I know.
Okay.
I don't
She wants to hold the camera. That's Miss Taylor.
Hi guys.
It's a lot of shrimp. Who's gonna eat all this shrimp? Okay. So let me turn the fire up because it's gonna cook really fast.
So this is what my Gito's using right now.
Blackstone.
What do you mean Blackstone?
Blackstone grill.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Let me check on the fire at you. Okay. It's going pretty fast. Guys, so I haven't been eating shrimp for some days, and I finally get to eat shrimp today. Whoa. Well, I did have shrimp yesterday, but that shrimp was so yummy. I ate the whole thing. I didn't even share some with my mom.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So basically, the shrimp marinated in lemon juice and garlic, and then marinated for about an hour, and then we're gonna put it on the grill, and it's gonna cook pretty fast.
And look, when the shrimp is done, it turned red. And it's already looking red as can be. It's burning up over here.
It's not burning.
It's hot. What do you mean? That's not
Don't stand too close to that. That's hot.
this? Oh, burning.
So
Gita,
keep the camera on there.
Gita is the best cook ever.
Just keep doing the shrimp like that.
So guys, okay guys, so I have no idea how to make shrimp. Oh, one right here is done. That one's very red. So these are the buttons she's been using, and this is me. Hi guys, and here's the shrimp. And you can tell it's a beautiful night here. Look at that food. But look at this.
How does it smell?
Good. I was just telling these guys about your life, and I mean about the shrimp mostly, and showing them the buttons and not pressing